Alright, guys, I have to admit something to you. It's been weighing on my chest forever, and I guess I finally just decided to make a video about it. But I have a problem, and that problem is buying modern Pokemon cards. I've been buying a lot. Look at this pile of them. So I'll just give you a quick glimpse. A lot of it is like Hidden Fate stuff here, but I think I just have to come to terms with the fact that I have a problem. I'm letting you guys know live right now. Well, not live, pre-recorded live. But I've accepted that, and I'm willing to admit it to you guys. On some real talk, though, I've been buying a lot of cards. I just buy a lot of cards in general, to be real with you. Like modern, vintage, etc. Mainly vintage. But for the past few couple months, I've noticed myself buying a lot of modern cards, way more than I have been. I don't think I've bought modern cards for the past year or so, but in the past month, I've bought most of these right here in this pile, except for a handful. Look at my modern binder. Sheesh. But yeah, it's everything has kind of come full circle because me and Van started hunting Hidden Fates, and that's how we started getting back into Pokemon cards again. And I kind of stopped after realizing all the reasons why people don't buy modern, but now it makes a lot of sense to buy modern. So I kind of figured I would make a video about buying modern in the format of like one video that blew up and got like 100,000 views and that people hated on it because I was just rambling forever. But that's before I blew up. I was just literally talking to a camera. But here we are, better format. I didn't buy these in the past month. I graded all these, but I just want to show them off because they're sick and they're dope and modern. I know I've said modern like 20 times in the past 1 minute, but yeah, this video is just gonna be a quick glimpse of my logic of why I've been buying a bunch of these types of cards, and probably just give you guys a few tricks and tips about navigating the marketplace now, at least from my perspective. Really quick before we get started, I'd like to let you guys know that this video is brought to you by Bokusu. Bokusu is a premium Japanese snack subscription service that delivers an original assortment of Japanese snacks and tea pairings. Bokusu partners with authentic Japanese snack makers, and some of them have been baking snacks for over 100 years. Each box comes with its own culture guide that highlights all the snacks you're receiving. It even shows you where each snack is produced. It just, honestly, looking at the overall presentation of the box, snacks, and guides, you can see that they really care about everything. It's super cool seeing all the snacks and their origins. It really just adds to the experience of trying all these snacks. So they sent us a different box subscription from last time. This time it is Prefecture Passion. And I'm super excited to try a bunch of different snacks. Once again, I already tried a couple, and they were super good. And trust me, when I say they're super good, my mom would take me to the Asian market every week, and I would grab a bunch of different snacks. And honestly, these snacks taste like a premium version of those. So pretty much it's like my childhood snacks, but infinitely better. All right, so let's pick a random snack out of the pile. I'll pick this one right here. I don't know what it is, but good thing we have the culture guide. So we'll flip to the right page. Bam. No, that's not it. Oh, right here. So it has all the information right here. Watch, I'll zoom in for you guys. My camera setup isn't the best for this, but it's vegetarian, it's sweet flavored, it says everything about it. It tells you a description of what you can expect from it. But yeah, super awesome to always have this guide whenever you're gonna eat the snacks. And now it's the moment of truth, which is the snack itself. So open it up, look at it, kind of what I expected from reading the guide, and the moment of truth to just try it out. I edited out the rest of me chewing and eating it because I don't want to gross you guys out. But super good. It was like a Kit Kat, but a matcha Kit Kat, but infinitely better. I'm hoping there's more in this box so I can share it with my sisters and my brother. Kind of crazy. But yeah, Bokusu makes such a perfect and memorable gift for anyone in your life who appreciates Japanese snacks and culture, especially during a time where people aren't able to travel as easily as they would like. And actually, not only would you be gifting them Bokusu, which is already awesome, but also you would technically be gifting them the chance to win free tickets to Japan, because Bokusu is having a giveaway. They will be picking 5 lucky winners to win a free set of tickets, and anyone who is subscribed before December 31st is automatically entered. I'll include a link in my description so you can check out the terms and conditions and other methods of entry below. So don't forget to check that out. And also, you will receive 10% off with the code and link below if you use those. So good luck, have fun, enjoy the snacks. All right, so let's talk about why I've been buying Modern, and we'll talk about tips and tricks afterwards. Sound good? Cool. So I have a handful of reasons of why I feel like now is the best, not the best time to buy Modern, but it's a good time to buy Modern again and get into the market again. And the first one is that hype is dying down. That's the biggest thing for me personally, because when I say hype is dying down, I mean there was a point where literally every card was hyped up. Like, I mean everyone. And you had YouTubers talking about everything, and now Pokemon feels like it's in a lull in comparison. So during lulls, it almost feels like the best time to buy. And people are only focusing on the hot things. Before, everything was hot, but now it seems as though people are only focusing on the new sets. No one's talking about other things that are more not talk they're not talking about things that are in the back burner. These I'll talk about why I think these are good, but there's a lot of back burner cards that no one's talking about anymore because they're just focused on the new hot thing. I mean, this foreshadows one of the tips, but if you're buying something when it's hot, you're buying at the wrong time. You should be selling when it's hot. And so if everything's hot, why are you buying it now? You know what I mean? So the fact that Pokemon hype has died down, it's allowed some things to cool off and allowed some things to not be talked about recently. Second reason is that cards just generally feel cheap. And that might, don't take that the wrong way. They just feel cheaper in comparison to where they were before. Like, cards have dipped down so much, and it's at the point now where it's like, where's the floor? Especially for modern cards. Modern cards to me feel like they're gonna level out pretty soon. Not like the super, super modern, but like these types of modern cards. I feel like they should have leveled out by now. If not, they have a little bit more room to level out. But who really knows? I can't predict anything. But in comparison to their crazy prices, like this, I think this one peaked at like 30, 40, and now it's down to like $15. And it's such a cool card. Like, cards feel relatively cheap right now in comparison to where they were. And at the end of the day, it's really hard to time the market and buy everything at the floor. So I've just been buying in when things feel right to me, and this feels like they feel right. Next reason is it just seems like there's a lot of supply. Well, how do I say this? Like, there's a lot of supply for Evolving Skies or whatever, but you want to target the stuff that has less supply than that. Like, I think these weird mid-tier sets before everything, not mid-tier, but the ones that came out before the crazy hype, you can target some of those alternate arts and some of those full arts. I think those are really, really good because it was before the... See, I'm telling you all the tips, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of supply, so you can pick and choose the cards you're buying. Like, I've seen a lot of these. Like, they're not super, super common, but I can pick and choose and only buy the ones that I think are PSA tenable and kind of skip the ones that are LP. You know what I mean? So there's enough supply where you can get them and you can get really good condition ones for literally market price, which feels relatively cheap. And it seems like a lot of people are just dumping these cards now. I went to my local card shop and he was basically saying no one's buying this type of stuff, like this, like Hidden Fates, all that era. And they're just focusing on the new stuff, like Celebrations. So... And then the last reason I'm buying these cards is that they're just cool. Like, I've always liked these cards. And it's, yeah, people who have collected for a long time understand the downfalls of these cards. Like, they're really overprinted, and they don't have a lot of scarcity, lack of nostalgia, etc., etc. But these cards hit so good. So I've always wanted to own a bunch of these cards, especially from this era. I think this is one of the golden eras of this, at least in these types of cards, you know? Like, this stuff looks so good. It just hits so hard. And this stuff, not so much, to be real with you. But that Hidden Fates era just hits so good for me. That's what got me back into collecting. And so it feels really good to just go out and buy a bunch of these for relatively cheap. Like, I think I got all these for like $2 a piece. You know what I mean? And so that might just be a little bit collector, but at the end of the day, like, not everything has to be stonks and not everything's about investing. It's just, for me, I just want to make good purchases at the right price. That's all. And if they go up, they go up. But if they go down, I'm not going to be hurt about it because I've always wanted a bunch of these cards. All right, so I gave you my reasons for why I'm buying Modern right now, and I feel like it really foreshadows the tips and tricks, but we'll get into it. I will say the tips very cut and dry, just so you, and I'll give you guys examples too. I was trying to avoid giving examples, all that stuff, so it could be into this segment. Maybe I could organize this better, but it's all good. So here's my tips and tricks for buying into Modern cards right now. First tip, if everyone's talking about it on the local Facebook group, don't buy it. It's not worth it to buy the singles right now. If everyone's talking about, in this time period, everyone's talking about Celebrations, everyone's talking about Fusion Strike, they're still talking about Evolving Skies, let all the hype die down. Let it all die down and just forget about it. That's why I'm buying Hidden Fates now, because no one cares anymore. Like, people still buy the sealed product to be like, I'm going to hold it forever, or I want to rip for Charizard, but at the end of the day, a lot of these prices have fallen off a cliff because no one cares about Hidden Fates right now. Not that I'm saying like no one cares, but it's not in the forefront of everyone's mind. So then its prices are slowly just going to drop off. And so that's when it's a good time to buy. Like even like the baby shinies I was showing you. I remember when it first came out, each one was at least like $8 or something like that. And then there was points where they were like 10. It's went all over the place. But now even like the big shinies are pretty affordable. Like the Ninetales, I think I got this for $15. And it's a cool card. So, number one tip, like I said, just avoid the hype as much as you can. If everyone's talking about it, just wait. If you just wait, the singles, the prices of those singles will go down so crazy. Ridiculous. And it's like, even like some of the sets that may be out of print, like Cosmic, I'm not really sure. There's no proof that they're not going to reprint it. But even those sets, some of those alt arts feel kind of cheap, $30. Compared to what? Compared to the Glaceon alt art from Evolving Skies, the Umbreon. Oh, the Umbreon's a good example. That card's like $200. Like, just wait. If you wait for a year, I can guarantee you that Umbreon's going to be $150, if not lower, like $130, $100. The Tyranitar alt art from Battle Styles, it was like $130, then it went to $100 for a while. Now it's sitting at like $70. So just keep that in mind, guys. Next thing, I feel like this is pretty obvious if you watch my channel, but if you haven't and you're new, this is just an extra tip, but don't buy packs. Do not rip packs trying to get cards. I'm sorry, it is just gambling. It's gambling in the form of cardboard that has some sort of monetary value, but not that much. But it's not really worth it. Just buy singles. Just buy singles. Mathematically, it always adds up. So just keep that in mind. Just a bonus tip. Next tip I would say is don't focus on the cards. It goes hand in hand with not focusing in on what's hot right now, but don't focus on the cards that are in this era. And what I mean when I say this era is I mean this era of the pandemic and this era of, oh, Pokemon is so hot right now, so we're going to print 1 million of these cards. So that's Roaring Skies. Roaring Skies is the biggest example, I really feel like. Just don't worry about it right now. Just give it a year or so and it'll dip down. But I really think, I mean, these aren't safe either, but they're safer than going for Roaring Skies, which is Cosmic Eclipse and all those cool tag team cards, Team Up and all that stuff. At least there's a small chance they won't print that into the ground, is what I'm trying to say. It's less risk, but at the end of the day, they can still print it. So who knows? But the cards are super, super cool, and you're not going to be stuck with, to give you perspective, I'm pretty sure Pokemon during its hype during the 90s, there's 10,000 Charizards. That's just a number off the top of my head, but there's 10,000 graded. Something ridiculous like that. And it's going to be the same with this whole Roaring Skies, or not Roaring Skies, Did I say Roaring Skies the whole time? I'm sorry. Evolving Skies era. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to be part of the junk wax era. Last tip I have for you guys is just to get deals. And what I mean by that is with these modernish era cards is they come by quite a bit. They're not super uncommon. Like first edition holos are hard to come by, but these aren't as hard. And so shop owners, people in general have a lot of these just chilling. And so they'll be more likely to give you a deal on these types of cards, especially if you buy in bulk too. Like if you just hit someone with a like, yo, like let me grab this whole binder for this much. Especially for modern cards, you're more likely to get it. And then especially with cards that card shops can't move, it doesn't really hurt unless they're like super corporate. But if they're like the homies, then you can be like, yo, I got $100. Like, can I grab all this? And you can get yourself some good values and deals, especially for inventory that isn't moving. And if this type of stuff isn't moving because everyone's buying Evolving Skies, then it's better. Ignore the Celebrations cards. But those are pretty cheap too. $3 sealed right now. Hectic. Also, graded cards are going for steals too. So many people are getting their PSA subs back. With alt arts, you can get them super cheap. And then the Hidden Fates, I think the baby shinies of this, I think these, not the Eevee itself, but just baby shinies in general, you can get them for under $20 if you lurk hard enough. If you lurk really hard, you can literally get PSA 10s for $20 to $40. I've seen it happen. And if you find the right deals, like people are dumping a lot of things. They're getting a lot of their graded cards back. You can come up super... Also, look how good this looks in the light. Random aside. But even with graded cards, crazy deals to be had right now. So it just feels like a really good time to jump in. And then last tip, actually, I lied about the last one being the last one. But SM Pratt talks about this a lot. But he says there's a difference between price and value. So price is what you pay for it, but value is the intrinsic value of the card deep down. It's one of those things you kind of develop over time after being in the hobby. Like, granted, I haven't been in crazy long, but you start to perceive what a card should be worth versus its actual price now. Like, I'll use this as an example. I'm pretty sure this is going for like $5, but when I look at it personally, I could see this being a $10, $15 card just by the types of Pokemon that are on it: Garchomp, Giratina, alt art, earlier alt art set. It just hits. Look at it. It looks really cool. And so there's small factors that add up to making a card more valuable. And if the market price doesn't reflect that, then it's a good time to buy in. And I think some market prices on certain cards aren't reflecting their actual value. So keep that in mind. I am not a financial advisor. I'm going to say that now. I am just buying modern cards because they're super sick right now. So... and it feels good. So I hope this video helped you guys. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you guys want anything at all. Hit me up. I'm going to do the giveaway winners in a couple days. I forgot about that, but I have 2 PSA slaps to give away from the last video. So I'm going to do that in the next couple days, so keep an eye out for that. If anything else, just like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Always appreciate it. Later.